On Friday, September 4th, 2020, a call was made to the Toledo Police Department regarding a missing 3-year-old, Braylen Noble. I'm your host, Slayer, and this is Morbid Stories. This story takes place in Toledo, Ohio, also known as the Glass City for being the glass capital of the United States. Founded in 1833, Toledo sits on the west bank of the Maumee River, which flows all the way to the Mississippi River. Toledo has a reputation for its metro parks, the University of Toledo, the Butt Hens, the Toledo Museum of Art, the Toledo Zoo, the largest mural in the United States, and for being the birthplace of the world-renowned Jeep brand. In an area not too far from one of Toledo's famous metro parks, Swan Creek, off of Airport Highway, which is known for housing an airport roughly 10 miles north from where this incident took place, a 3-year-old nonverbal autistic boy, Braylen Noble, was reported missing and said to have fallen from a 3rd-story window. The details are as follows.
Hi folks, reporter Roxanne Elias here with WTOL 11 News. I am in South Toledo right now where Toledo Police Department and the Toledo Fire and Rescue continue to search for a missing 3-year-old little boy. We are in South Toledo right now where the scene is still pretty active. Some of the officers, some of the fire department have left already, but I'm gonna turn things around for you guys so you guys can kind of take a look in about the area that we're in here. So we are at Hunter's Ridge Apartments. This is the area in South Toledo right now. As you can see, there are still several police officers on scene. This apartment right here, this L apartment, is where the missing 3-year-old little boy went missing from. So I'm going to kind of walk in the area. Let me know if you guys cannot hear me. I'm going to try to show you guys as much as possible from where the missing 3-year-old went. Supposedly, per police, is the mother called, I believe, earlier today. Toledo Police and the fire department have been on scene since about 12:30 this afternoon, searching for a 3-year-old little boy. Still very active scene here. If you guys can tell, this is where the little boy went missing from, this L building. If you can tell, right in that window right there is where the mother says that the 3-year-old supposedly came out of the window, it fell out. And so there is a pond or some type of water area behind this building where Toledo Police and the fire department have been searching for hours right now. They tell me that they've been knocking on doors of all of these apartments here in the area, trying to talk to people, trying to see if the little boy is in any of these apartments. They have not been able to locate him just yet. They did talk about rumors that the little boy had been found. Those rumors are not true still at this moment. As you guys can tell, Toledo Police Department and fire are still on scene. Detectives, they have some of the fire department has left. At this point, they tried to put a boat in the water, which is behind this building. However, they say the terrain is really, really bad out there. So as you guys can still see, a very active scene. They said that they have knocked on pretty much all the doors in this area. There are several apartment buildings, as you guys can see.
Braylen was under the supervision of his mother, Dejanay Cox, and his grandmother, Bobby Johnson, when he fell from the 3rd-story window. It is unclear what either adult did for work or other means of living at the time, so I will not speculate.
We come on the air right away tonight with breaking news. This 3-year-old boy is missing right now, and your help is needed to bring him home. Right now, there are several crews out looking for little Braylen Noble. Here's a look at the area where they're searching right now. Gibraltar Heights at Burn Road and Airport Highway and Swan Creek Metro Park in South Toledo. Roxanne Elias is following the search tonight and joins us right now live from Hunter's Ridge Apartments. Roxanne, what can you tell us?
Melissa, I'm here where police are under this window right over here where Braylen's mother says he jumped out shortly after noon and she hasn't seen him since. Now, the search began around 12:30 this afternoon, where Braylen's mother called police because she couldn't find her son. Officers say they looked throughout the entire apartment complex and knocked on doors at all of the surrounding buildings to look for the little boy. They also looked behind the apartment where there's a body of water. There were rumors of him being found. However, at this point, officials say those rumors have been found false, and they have not found any sign of Braylen just yet.
Toledo Fire and Rescue has a drone in the air as we speak, and they have firefighters both in the water and on the riverbank searching as well. We're awaiting a canine to hopefully do some type of a track.
At this point, we're told by officials that Braylen's mother is downtown where the police department is. However, that is just procedure that they follow. At this point, we're going to continue to follow this and check back in with police to see if they find any sign of Braylen Noble. For now, I'm live in South Toledo.
Dejanay's mother, Bobby, would be the one to make the call to the police to report the incident. Some have noted how Bobby's reaction does not match that of a grandmother whose grandchild has just gone missing.
911, where's your emergency?
Yes, we have a missing 3-year-old.
Okay, what's the address?
Autistic nonverbal. 315 Gibraltar Heights. 3415,
I'm sorry, 3415?
3415 Gibraltar
Is there an
Heights.
apartment number?
Yes, L11.
I'm sorry?
L11.
L11, your name?
Yes.
Your name?
My name is Bobby.
Bobby, is that
B-I-E, Johnson.
Bobby, is she white or pale?
Black.
And you said you're non-verbal?
Yes.
How long has she been missing?
It's a he.
Him?
We've been looking for him for over a good 30 minutes.
Okay.
He fell out his window in these apartments.
You think he's hurt?
I'm hoping he's okay, but we don't know where he at. We walked the whole ground.
Okay. And what was he wearing, do you know?
We're going to his shop because he found the window with his purple on.
What's his name?
Oh my God. Braylen.
B-A-Y-L-N or B-R-A-Y?
L-Y-L-I-N. B-R-A-Y-L.
B-A-N.
L-E-N, I'm sorry.
And what's his last name?
L-E-N. What's their last name? Noble. Oh, God.
Okay, and what was he wearing?
He had on his pull-up. And, was that the orange shirt? I don't even know what shirt he had on. What color was the shirt? T-shirt with the orange at the bottom? Or was it the gray one? You changed it out so much, I don't even remember what shirt you put on him.
Okay, what's your phone number?
419-917-1640.
Did you guys go back by the creek and look by the creek anywhere?
Yes, we went all back there by the pool area, the swing area, all of that. And on the back end on the other side. Oh.
Okay, and he's nowhere in the house?
No, we looked in the closets and everything.
Okay. Did you look under the bed?
Yes.
You looking like the hampers, underneath blankets?
Yeah, because we only have one bed in the apartment.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay, well,
the screen windows like wide open.
Okay. Okay. Well, the police on their way there, okay? Okay. They're coming there. All right. Okay, be ready for them. Okay. All right.
Oh, God.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Police will be dispatched to the 3400 block of Gibraltar Heights Drive at Hunter's Ridge Apartments and immediately begin searching for nonverbal and autistic Braylen. These two factors were seen as possible difficulties in the search because if Braylen were verbal, finding him via hearing would have made this search a lot less strenuous.
We start right away with the breaking news tonight. Search efforts for a missing nonverbal 3-year-old boy in South Toledo are now wrapped up for the night. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Melissa Andrews. Braylen Noble has been missing for nearly 11 hours now. Roxanne Elias has been at the Hunters Ridge Apartments all day, keeping track of these updates. That's near Vernon Airport Highway. Roxanne, police are looking to restart those search efforts tomorrow.
That's right, Melissa. Crews have wrapped up for the night, but they say that they will be back here tomorrow morning bright and early to continue those search efforts for 3-year-old Braylen Noble, who went missing earlier today. Now, police are citing that because of the darkness and visibility that they have to stop their efforts tonight and start back tomorrow. However, earlier today, this was the scene as the search began around 12:30 this afternoon when Braylen's mother called police because she couldn't find her son. The mother says Braylen fell out of a window. Several agencies, including Toledo Police, Fire and Rescue, and the FBI arrived on scene. Officers say they looked throughout the entire apartment complex and knocked on all the doors of the surrounding buildings to look for the little boy. At one point, there was a rumor on social media that they had found a boy in the river. However, TPD says that is false. However, they did indeed look for Braylen behind the apartment where there is a body of water.
We've actually gone to the extent of the adjacent structures, these close to where this child resides, getting up into the attics, searching those. Again, just trying to exhaust all efforts that we feel we can. We have searched the pool area, put a diver in the pool just to double check.
Police did tell me earlier today that they did take Braylen's mom to the safety building just to be interviewed, and that is part of the protocol. They say at this point she is not a suspect and they do not believe there has been foul play. We will continue to monitor the situation and bring you the latest tomorrow. But for now, reporting live in South Toledo, Roxanne Elias, WTOL 11.
The search would be resumed the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. After 4 days of searching, Dejanay went on to do an interview pleading for Braylen's safe return. The shocking details of his return may disturb some and trigger others. Viewers' discretion is advised.
You're not doing like asking questions. You can tell me whatever. If you don't want me to ask you questions, I am just going to ask you to say and spell your first and last name, though I do, because I don't want to get that wrong, of course.
It's been 4 days since my son has been missing, and I just want whoever to have him, please take him somewhere safe. I know he's scared, and I know he's crying, and he has stomach pains, and he's not eating. He's a picky eater. So if you want to just drop him off somewhere, please drop him off to the police station. You can drop him off here, call my phone. I know he's crying. I know you can't get him to stop crying. He's being picky. He's not eating. And if he's scared, I won't be mad. Please just drop him off to me. I just want him home. That's it.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you for doing that. I will cut that out. And then Dejanay, correct? D-A-J-A-N-E. Cox.
D-A-J-N-A-E. Cox.
Okay. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd want to say? Okay. Thank you.
The search continued for 2 more days, even with a huge helping hand from the community and sometimes even into the dead of night, but to no avail. Roughly 6 days after he went missing, Braylen was found September 9th. The details behind the location of where he was found is the most disturbing of all. When Braylen was found, I was on my way home from the local gym. I seen a crowd of citizens, police, and even some federal agents outside of the 3400 block of Gibraltar. I parked my car and I walked over to check out the scene that was brewing. At the time, I was completely unaware of what had been going on because I wasn't using social media and I didn't keep up with news broadcasts at the time. But what I found out really broke my heart.
This is a breaking news alert.
We are here today to confirm that we have found a body in the pool at Gibraltar Heights. Official identity of the body will be made by the Lucas County coroner. However, it's believed to be the body of missing child Braylen Noble.
A tragic day in Toledo. Worst fears appear to be realized. 6 days of searching for 3-year-old Braylen Noble coming to an end. His disappearance now turning into a death investigation. Our team continues to get the latest information now and reaction from the community on today's developments. 13 ABC's Christina Williams on the story from the start, has been at Hunters Ridge Apartments all day and was there when crews searched the pool again. She leads off our live team coverage.
Ali, this is the pool where Braylen Noble was found today, according to Toledo police. We want to give you a look at what it looks like tonight. You can see the bottom of the pool, and it is only halfway filled with water at this time. This is the area where police say they found the missing 3-year-old today. The toddler was found in this area, and police saying it had been checked multiple times in the past few days. Police made that discovery this afternoon, and it's still unclear what led police back to the pool today. In fact, this morning I was here when nearly a dozen federal agents were walking this complex. In fact, they walked right by the pool. The pool was also checked by divers on Friday with the Toledo Fire and Rescue Department when Braylen Noble was reported missing. And yesterday, there was only a small amount of water left inside, which is what you can see here now today. At this point, it's unclear if investigators received a tip that led them to search again, but they are reiterating tonight that the pool was checked.
It's common practice in police investigations, once an area is searched, if nothing's found, to go back and revisit that search area and see if anything was missed. But we do want to reiterate that the area was searched numerous times by both by Toledo Fire and Rescue, Toledo Police, the FBI, private search groups, and both live and cadaver dogs.
The Lucas County Coroner's Office will determine how the child died by performing an autopsy. Meanwhile, right after presumed Braylen Noble was found here in this pool at the Hunters Ridge Apartments, his mother was taken by Toledo police. She was not under arrest at the time, but she was taken in a police cruiser downtown. Once again, at this hour and at last check, no charges have been filed in this case. Of course, we will stay on top of it as those developments continue. Lee?
All right, Christina, thank you. Shock and anger from people who had gathered to help search when they heard that a body had been found. Even with this development, there are still so many questions. I-Team reporter Sean Haggerty continues our live team coverage tonight. Sean?
Yeah, Lee, a crowd that was originally pushed back from this area has now returned and want to take a closer look at the pool. And a small memorial has also grown here. As you can see some of those blue balloons behind there. Once again, a vigil is expected tonight at 7 p.m. Now, crime scene detectives were taking photos, concentrating their work on the pool today where that baby was found this afternoon. Now, finding the baby in the pool is puzzling to a lot of people. As Christina was just telling you, firefighters searched it Friday afternoon, and witnesses out here over and over again said they saw police officers, federal agents, and those private search crews all searching the pool several days now. So how is it the baby was found there now?
There's no way that he was in that pool from the beginning because everybody looked in that pool area. So there's no way that he was there from day one. There's no way.
That is leading to a lot of theories out here of how the baby ended up there. Was the baby there the whole time? That is an unanswered question at this point. A lot of people have been trying to figure that out here throughout the rest of the afternoon. There's also no one been charged, so people out here wondering, will eventually somebody be charged in this case? That's just on the minds of so many people out here tonight, Lee.
All right, Sean, thank you. And with all those questions remaining, 13 ABC, of course, staying on top of the situation. Another live report at the bottom of the hour.
We are here today to confirm that we have found a body in the pool, or it's believed to be the body of missing child Braylen Noble.
Tragic news as we come on the air tonight. Police have found what they believe to be the body of 3-year-old Braylen Noble.
Braylen disappeared from his mom's South Toledo apartment on Friday. Just about 2 hours ago, police confirmed they pulled a body from the pool at Hunters Ridge. Police took Braylen's mom and grandma, but not in handcuffs. Right now, there is no word on any charges.
Tonight, we have live team coverage from the scene. Roxanne Elias talking with people nearby about what they saw today and the mood tonight.
But first, we start with Carla Byron, who was there as police made this tragic discovery. Carla, this pool was searched earlier in this investigation.
Yeah, it is just such a tragic end for so many volunteers out here who were hoping that Braylen would be returned safely. Now, the police scene has been dismantled completely, and many members of the community have gathered along the fence line of the pool here, leaving a makeshift memorial for Braylen. You can see balloons there and teddy bears. Around 1:30, Toledo police arrived to the pool along with a man with a shepherd's crook, which is a pool tool that allows people to reach things in the water that are far away. I was only able to see the man put the tool into the half-filled pool for a few seconds before police told everyone to back away from the area. The extensive search for Braylen started on Friday by Toledo Fire and Police, canines and cadaver dogs, as well as private search groups. Police say they searched this area numerous times, including the pool. Divers even went into the water. Kim Sorter has been the search coordinator for Braylen since day one. Their gathering spot was at the gazebo, which is just a few feet away from the pool, so this news was just devastating for her.
I'm heartbroken because we wanted to bring him home alive. We wanted to bring him home. And so many people's been out here searching and looking for this baby. And we thank you all for being here and bringing Braylen home.
Police tell me Braylen's grandmother, Bobby, and Braylen's mom, Dejanay Cox, were taken away from their apartment close to when it was announced that it was Braylen's body found in the pool. Many people had gathered around her apartment, and as they were taken away, they were shouting and cheering as well. Now, this is still a very active investigation. We'll have more reaction from the community tonight at 6.
And we did just check in with the Lucas County Jail. Right now, no one's been charged. Grandmother was not taken away in handcuffs. Thanks so much, Carla.
We are also learning tonight that there is a vigil there at Hunter Ridge apartment complex. As we continue to track the latest developments, here's how this all unfolded. Braylen's grandmother called 911 at 12:30 Friday afternoon. Police say his mom told investigators she thought he fell from a third-story window. Search teams have been looking for him ever since. Saturday night, rumors started flying on social media that someone had found Braylen, but police quickly responded saying that was not true. Then Sunday, the FBI announced a $5,000 reward. Crews searching again Monday. Police releasing that 911 call from that grandmother. TPD interviewing both the mom and grandmother yesterday, but say there is nothing of significance to report as of this morning. Then the tragic find just a few hours ago. Police pulling a body they believe to be Braylen from that pool at Hunter's Ridge. Again, there'll be a vigil there at 7 p.m. at the complex. The public is invited.
Volunteers expressed anger and frustration, as you just saw in the moments after they learned a body was found. We'll pick up with Roxanne Elias right now, live by the apartments where Braylen Noble disappeared Friday. She continues our team coverage right now. Roxanne, what are you hearing out there tonight?
Mel, I walked around this entire area where volunteers have been searching since Friday afternoon. Some of those neighbors telling me they have taken days off. They've been searching for 12 hours a day. Now today, earlier, they began searching just like any normal day as dozens of volunteers resumed to looking for 3-year-old Braylen. However, things quickly took a turn as officials announced they had found what is believed to be the body of the little boy. Shortly after, a large crowd gathered reacting around the mother's apartment, some saying they are angry and believe there is more to the story. Meanwhile, another, who is a mother herself, says she knew it was her responsibility to come out here and search for Braylen.
Literally risking our lives, going to abandoned houses, going by train tracks, all in the woods. You know, we was out here for Braylen. We was literally doing this. We was risking our lives, literally. And to hear that he's found in the drain, you know, that hurts. You know what I'm saying? We searched this area multiple times.
There are two neighbors who live below Braylen's mother. They were too scared to speak to me on camera, but they are asking you to please think of them and their children before you think of lashing out there at their apartments. For now, I'm live in South Toledo. Roxanne Elias, WTOL 11.
Braylen's body was found in the apartment complex's pool, a location that had been checked by police days prior. How his body ended up there is still a mystery. Some say it was foul play, and others suspected that the police were simply being lazy and overlooked the body because of the boy's race and other things of that nature. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide.
The community continues to mourn the death of little Braylen. Many still asking how this happened. The Lucas County Coroner's Office handling the autopsy today. Our Carla Byron continuing our live team coverage tonight. Carla, what did the coroner find?
Well, the initial autopsy, it is a preliminary autopsy report, so there are still many unanswered questions, and more information will come out later. But what we learned from this report is Braylen showed no cause of death, and there was no evidence of trauma on Braylen's body, although drowning has not been ruled out. More studies need to be done, such as a toxicology and microscopic examination, which looks at sections of the organs. After that, Dr. Cynthia Beiser, who conducted this initial autopsy, told me she hopes a cause of death and a manner of death can be determined. Now, one neighbor who didn't want to be identified says she heard Braylen cry a lot in his apartment because she understands he's autistic. She heard Braylen crying the day he went missing before noon, and the neighbors who live even closer to Braylen's mom heard the crying suddenly stop.
I heard crying Friday. I know that there's a lot of things being said by people who are in fact angry, and I think that they just need to calm down and realize that this child missing is not something that you should be trying to gather any kind of clout off of. And I think that a lot of it, that's what it is.
And Dr. Beiser did not give me a time frame as far as when those further tests and studies would be completed, but she told me that it depends on if there's anything in Braylen's system. We'll continue to stay on top of this death investigation and bringing you the latest. Reporting live in South Toledo, Carla Byron, WTOL 11.
A little over a year after the initial incident, on October 28, 2021, Braylen's mother, Dejanay Cox, and grandmother, Bobby Johnson, were indicted in the death of Braylen. Dejanay received charges of child endangerment and obstruction of justice, while Bobby only received obstruction of justice charges.
Everybody ready? Good morning. We're here to talk about the indictments that came down yesterday on the Braylen Noble investigation. I'm going to be turning the podium over to Lieutenant Dan Gherkin, who is our Crimes Against Persons Commander, and he will give as many details as humanly possible. I want to remind everyone, the indictments just came down, so there's not going to be a whole lot of information that he's going to be able to give you, but at least he'll be able to fill in some of the blanks. Lieutenant?
All right. Like the chief said, we're here to talk about Braylen Noble, and the chief said we were going to talk about it, so that's what we're here for, to try to give out as many details as possible. But usually when cases are indicted, we usually don't talk to them about them at all, but there's a lot of vested interest in this, especially from concerned citizens and the whole city. First, I wanted to thank all the people that helped us. The TPD officers involved in the case. The FBI was incredible. The fire department, Toledo Fire Department. We had Black Swamp Search and Rescue brought some dogs. Springfield Fire Department brought some dogs to help us. The Lucas County Coroner's Office. Tons of concerned citizens. Stevens Disposal. And last but not least, the Lucas County Coroner's Office. The chief made a couple comments to me about what was going on social media that I'll address real quick. The length of investigation. Not everything's super fast, and we send away evidence to get processed. And so we have to wait for that evidence to come back things that we don't process ourselves. So that would be one of the reasons why it took so long. The other issue is we've met with the prosecutor's office numerous times, and they thoroughly reviewed our case. So that took quite a bit of time, and they, and I appreciate it, to make sure we're doing what was right for the case and doing where the taking the case where the evidence led us. As far as the indictments go and the charges, that's going to be based on the evidence. All right, I think people are clamoring for more stiffer penalties or stiffer charges. I'm going to tell you, this is what the evidence leads us to: is the charges that Dejanay and Bobby were indicted on. All right, and part of the issues are the cause of death are still undetermined from the coroner's office, and again, that's part of the evidence that led us to the charges. So basically, we wanted to thank everybody that was involved, try to give a little bit of bits and pieces about why the charges are where they're at, and it's based on the evidence. And if you got a couple questions, I will answer them the best I can. Like, again, they're going to be limited answers, because we usually don't talk about cases that are indicted where they're going to end up still going to go through the criminal justice process here. Yes, ma'am.
You said that some evidence was sent away to get processed. Can you tell us, like, what kind of evidence?
The one thing that did get sent away, everybody heard the 911 phone call that got put out, that got processed by the FBI. So that took a little bit of time for us to send that out. I don't know exactly what prosecutor is going to be assigned to take the case, but like I said, they reviewed it very, very thoroughly.
Can you kind of go into further detail? Like you said, you don't normally do press conferences about things like that. So just further detail about, the community impact of a case like this. You obviously had people out searching with them that got infested. So
yeah, so we as the fire department, the police department, the FBI, between going through trash at Stephen Disposal to searching the fields over there and all of that, we put in tons of hours. And then the amount of people that were out there searching while we're searching and we're crossing paths with them, it's awesome to see that people got involved in it. It's unfortunate the way it turned out, but yeah, it had a huge impact on the community.
Was the evidence evident initially early on, or did it just take the long investigation, the months, the years?
Well, yeah, we go through everything. So yeah, and everybody asked me before, I would love for investigations to be over 5 minutes after a case starts, right? Or within the commercial time that it goes to the commercial 15 minutes into the TV show. But that's not how it works, and we have to be thorough, and we have to do the right things, and we have to rely on people to help us process evidence, review cases, and everything like that. So unfortunately, it does take longer than it should sometimes, and sometimes it's just the way it is. So. Correct.
And the death as well?
Well, yeah, as far as, like I said, the death is undetermined at this time. Obviously, we know where Braylen was found and everything like that, but this is what it stems from. I think I got about one more question, and then we'll be good. If you guys are good, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
On November 24th, 2022, a little over 2 years and 2 months since the initial incident on the 4th of September 2020, and a little over a year from Dejanay Cox and Bobby Johnson being indicted, both were found guilty on their charges in regard to Braylen's death. Dejanay was sentenced to 2 years probation, and her mother Bobby was sentenced to 1 year probation.
Some closure to a case we've been following for years. The mother and grandmother of 3-year-old Braylen Noble will serve no time in jail in connection to the boy's death. He was found in a South Toledo apartment complex pool in September of 2020. Dejanay Cox, Braylen's mother, and Bobby Johnson, his grandmother, were both sentenced to probation today. Kaylee Marintet is live outside the courthouse where that decision was handed down today. And Kaylee, a lot of people have been following this case and will be asking, why didn't they get any jail time?
Melissa, the charges that Dejanay Cox and Bobby Johnson faced were not homicide related. The court deciding that Braylen Noble's death was accidental. The two were in court in September, with Cox taking a Alfred plea for her two charges of attempted child endangerment and obstructing justice. Johnson pleaded guilty to her one charge of obstructing justice. This morning, Johnson was in front of Judge Ian English first. Her attorney calling her a model citizen due to never having run-ins with the police and holding a steady job. The defense asked for a probationary sentence, and that's what the judge handed down: 1 year of probation for Johnson. Cox was up next, where her attorney says Braylen snuck out of the home and into the pool. That's where his body was found days after he disappeared. She received 2 years of community control, which is what Cox's attorney asked for. She will still have to hold a job, counseling for her mental health, and work towards her GED. We got a chance to speak to Johnson's attorney after sentencing.
This was not a homicide case. It was an investigation, but the evidence just simply didn't show that there was any foul play or that this was a homicide. This was accidental, and I think our society needs to know that you have two grieving women and a grieving family here because of an accident.
Coming up at 6, you'll hear from the prosecution on why this was investigated as a homicide in the first place, and you'll also hear from Judge English and more from Johnson's attorney. Reporting live in downtown Toledo, Kaylee Marintet, WTOL 11.
Memorials were held for Braylen and a bench commissioned by a local woodworker in Braylen's memory. Through social media, many of his family members expressed their disdain and grievances. The tragic loss of such a young life is never something to overlook, and I sincerely send my condolences to Braylen's friends and families affected by his loss. Rest in heaven, Braylen Noble.
Loving, he was sweet, he liked to play a lot.
Well, those who knew little Braylen Noble before his tragic death this week are now speaking out. Noble's body was found in the pool at the Hunters Ridge Apartments in South Toledo on Wednesday after nearly a week-long search. Tonight, people close to Braylen sharing how their lives were impacted by the little 3-year-old. John Monk with more tonight with Braylen's preschool teacher.
I bawled my eyes out last Friday when I heard. I just wanted to figure out what was going on, and I wanted to help in any way I could.
Liz Chaya was Braylen Noble's intervention specialist at Cross Gates Preschool. She remembers him as a sweet boy who was always on the move throughout her classroom. After hearing of his disappearance, Liz checked in with Braylen's mom on Monday and joined in the search efforts all day Wednesday. Liz says she was inconsolable when the news came in that Braylen's body had been recovered.
I am sad that he didn't get to learn more and just be Braylen, but I know he's in a good place and he's with God now.
Now, Liz takes hope in the outpouring of support from the community in mourning the 3-year-old lost too soon. She says seeing so many people willing to take their time to first search for Braylen and then come together to remember him is an inspiration.
It makes me feel really good to be a part of this kind of community and to teach in this community and to have students that have other people that care about them so much, even if people didn't know them. That's great. It makes me feel really happy that I'm a part of this community.
In Toledo, I'm John Monk, WTOL 11.
And you may have heard Braylen Noble had nonverbal autism. According to the Ability Center, that doesn't mean he couldn't communicate with words or sounds. Also doesn't mean that Braylen had low intelligence. People who are nonverbal will sometimes communicate with signs, pictures, even gestures. The Ability Center also says it's important to remember that every person with autism is unique.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to come out here to be one big family, God. We ask you to watch over us. We ask you to watch over little Braylen.
Tonight was just the beginning of people honoring and remembering 3-year-old Braylen Noble. More than 100 people gathered for a vigil at the apartment complex. Emma Henderson is live from where that vigil happened tonight. Heartbreaking day, Emma. You got the chance to speak to several people, including Braylen's cousin, who made that vigil happen.
That's right. And she said right now their priority is getting justice for him and getting to the truth, finding the answers to the questions that so many have right now. There are actually still some people behind me hanging around following the vigil. It seemed like the endless flow of people never stopped. More balloons are still on this pool area, and the candles are continuing to be lit throughout the night. Now, neighbors decided to put this vigil together because they wanted to make sure the little boy is remembered. Everyone was asked to bring candles. Some of the people were neighbors, others volunteers, and some have just been following the story since he was first reported missing, and they wanted to pay their respects.
What happened here? I don't want to comment too much, but I definitely am prayers for this little guy and justice for him too.
Now coming up at 10:30, we are going to have a full report on that vigil and a little bit more about what his cousin and some neighbors had to say following the news today. Reporting live in South Toledo, Emma Henderson for WTOL 11 on Fox 36.